Well, hey guys, it's Dr. Drake 63 here. It's been a while since I've done a new firearm unboxing video. This one's a Colt, and something that I've been looking for. This particular one is their model 1911 Classic, which is a Series 70 blued frame and slide. It's got a 5-inch national match barrel in it, and it's a looker for sure. And we're going to take this out of the box. We're going to shoot a little bit today, going to talk about it, talk about how this differs from the Series 80 that we presented to you here, probably about a year and a half ago. So true to form with Colt, you get stuff that I'm never going to use. I can't tell you how many of these kind of locks I've got between Colt, Glock, and everybody else. It comes with the owner's model for the Model 70 and the government model MK4. These all kind of fall into that same range. And here, wrapped in plastic, is the firearm in question. So here she is. And when they come in these plastic bags, they got some gunk on them. So I've polished this up with a little bit of oil. But as you can see, it's got a beautiful blued slide. It's got one of my favorite symbols in all of firearms there, that dancing pony. Comes with these beautiful checkered diamond grips. And it's just a real basic Series 70 1911. Not a ton going on with this thing. Take a look at it here. By the way, sometimes I've had problems with the Colt mags, and this one's worked out really good. But as you can see, really nice job on the stocks or the grips. And you can see it's a plain Jane Colt government model. Like I said, it's got a national match barrel in it, so I suppose that's a little bit better than some of the barrels that are out there. But this is a GI type design, really. It's pretty basic. You can see here, there's nothing going on special with the sights. This gun is very accurate, as you'll see when we do the shooting. But I've always been a guy that likes a plain 1911. You won't see fancy stuff with me. In fact, recently I did a video about this custom Browning high power, which I also shot for the first time today. And where this is a little bit of a hybrid John Browning type of design, this guy right here is all John Browning. Sure, he had some help from some guys in the shop or whatnot, but really nice job on the grips. And unlike the Series 80 government model that I bought, this has a darker blued finish, which is definitely my preference. Unlike the Series 80 that I reviewed last year and have talked about, this particular one, no issues at all with slide hold open or anything like that. I was having problems with my other Colt in that respect. If you look at this isn't the same kind of blue job that they've done in the past. Neither Smith & Wesson nor Colt blues like they used to, and I think there's some environmental issues that accompany that. But the kind of things you want to see, magazine popping right out. Nice job on the finish. I do see a little surface scratch here right out of the box. But I'm not the guy that's going to get picky about that. I'm going to put more in it because this is a shooter. It's not going in a case anywhere. We're going to take it apart and look at the insides. So for takedown, as always, you want to make sure that you don't have any ammunition in the chamber. Turn your barrel bushing. Take your barrel bushing out. Lining up this rear notch with your takedown pin, and that comes right out. Now you're ready to disassemble. I did mention that I had fired this prior, and so the barrel's going to be dirty. It doesn't come from the factory that way. And there you go. My first tendency was to try to take it off like I do a tilt barrel design. So much more used to that. And here's your slide. Now this does not have the drop safety mechanism, which is a little round detent that shows up. And that's the difference, big difference between the Series 80, also called the 1991 versions, and these Model 70s and the pre-70 models. The slide is, obviously this is forged steel. It's very well done. And here's your frame. Basic 1911 stuff. So you see right here it says Colt 45 National Match. I can't say that today I shot this more accurately than a standard barrel. So, like a lot of things, a lot of it might be marketing. It does definitely look to be in a lot nicer machining and so forth than some of the other Colt barrels I've seen. Series 80 up top, Series 70 on the bottom. What you're looking at up here, not nearly as nice looking a firearm. It's Parkerized. It's got this big, ugly, non-traditional stamp with that big Colt on there. I don't care for that. I do care for something that's more classic like this. But in terms of differences, you can see the trigger is protruding into the trigger guard less here than on this model. Nylon, the other one's made out of aluminum. I'm going to post a link to a pretty good web resource which talks about specific differences for those of you that are interested. So I fired 50 rounds, not a high round count today, but 50 rounds with no issues at all with cycling, with the slide holding back, any of that kind of stuff. So that was a positive sign. Usually if a 1911 is going to get finicky, it's going to be right away. Shoots just like a 1911, guys. As you can see, my first target was here on the left. The stuff you see scattered is from the shooting fast, so I wouldn't worry about that too much. But after getting used to the trigger, we're bringing it down a little bit better. This is at 30 feet, 10 yards, and as you can see, this gun's going to shoot as good as I can. Now, guys, surprisingly, one of the comments that I get a lot from guys, especially when I'm showing a nice finish on a firearm or something, is, why are you putting it on wood? Put a mat down. Guys, I'm not banging it against the wood. I'm not. I'm being real gentle. And wood makes a lot cooler backdrop, in my opinion, than a mat. Nothing bad has ever happened to one of my firearms because I've made a decision to take pictures of it on wood. So, believe me, I don't want anything bad to happen to this little guy either. Without a doubt, it's a 1911. It's a plain Jane 1911, like I like. No, I am not going to put custom sights on this. No, I am not going to put, oversized magazines or 8-round magazines. I like this in the classic design. You're just simply not going to find an old Colt in this kind of shape without spending a whole lot of money. And this particular one, so far, gets good grades in my book, especially when I compare it to the last new Colt I bought, which left me wanting. So, we'll see how this one does. We like the way it shoots. It's got a nice trigger on it. It's a 1911 with a national match barrel with some really nice stocks on it, as I pointed out. So, this is DR Drake 63. I want to thank you for joining me today.